Hi, everyone. Most people call me T, and don't be deceived by my hair. I am not a slam poet or a musician. So I'm going to start with a story that was one of my favorite fairy tales when I was little. And although this story is about a shoemaker, it could easily be about a dressmaker or a t-shirt maker or whatever. So once upon a time, there was a shoemaker, and he was a really hard worker and a really honest guy, and he was totally broke, so a pure startup story, right? And he was so broke that he only had one set of leather to make one pair of shoes. So he cut out his leather, and he went to bed. And when he woke up in the morning, he had a perfect pair of shoes. And so a customer came to his shop and was so amazed, they paid him double. And so he had enough leather, or enough money to then buy leather for 2 pairs of shoes. And so he cut out the leather, went to bed, woke up in the morning, more perfect shoes. And this continued, and his business absolutely thrived. And so he and his wife were trying to figure out the source of this miracle. And so they decided they were going to stay up. So he cut out his leather per usual, and then they stayed up. And they found an elf. So I'm going to stop the story here. If you are dying to know the whole ending, you can see me after, and I will tell you the whole rest of it. But I want to think about some insights here. So this is a really, really old story that talks about this grand fiction of something being manufactured overnight that is beautiful and amazing. And even in modern fashion, companies try to get products to market, and it's a very, very long, months-long process. It's expensive, and it takes forever, right? And it's also extremely high risk because most companies are translating fashion, and they're trying to make that interpretation 6 months or sometimes even a year in advance. And so wouldn't it be amazing for fashion companies to all have an elf? Could you imagine the ability to translate and iterate products for your customers overnight? It would be absolutely unbelievable and miraculous. So currently, and actually Aubrey touched on this and this is about their business as well, there's a huge movement for individualization. So we are in an era of selfies, and people want to be totally unique and totally special. And so we see brands like New Balance and Bow and Drape and Motorola and Nike and many, many more brands moving towards this notion of pure customization so that customers can express themselves however they want. So we like to say in our company that we are in the business of self-expression. And so we generate art on a constant basis to help our customers, who at this point are mostly 16 to 26-year-old girls who like to party. We like to help them express themselves. So if you can't read this one, by the way, it says whistle while you twerk. And so yes, twerking helps pay my bills. So that's a really special element about our business. And Obama Can't Ban These Guns is my personal favorite. And yeah. So it's always funny when it ships to Texas, we know it's not ironic, and when it ships to Massachusetts, we know it is, right? But so we are actually a printing company in kind of a unique way. So basically, the special sauce is that we produce things once they are ordered and paid for. So people ask us, how did you bootstrap this startup from 0 to $5 million in a year and be profitable? And the answer is that we have an ELF. And that is that we use all on-demand manufacturing. So like I mentioned, nothing is produced until it's ordered and paid for. And so it's all domestic, and we have partners throughout the United States. And it is efficient, it's low risk, and it's fast. We wouldn't be able to do our business at all if we had to hold everything in inventory. And so it's a very unique thing, and with 3D printing, I think efficiencies in technology, it could get really, really interesting in terms of the turnaround time and what's available to allow people to really express themselves and to continue to push into this movement of individualization and customization. So I would like to challenge you and encourage you to think about what is your ELF to change your business and to get out of the archaic model of taking massive financial risks on producing products, and see if there are ways to get more efficient, lower your risk, and produce things faster. So thank you, and feel free to check out our content. It's hilarious at lookhuman.com.